And parents, we're going to talk about communicating professionally, which means how do we communicate our needs to somebody who's going to help us? All right, so this is a lifelong skill that a lot of people need to have, and including you as a student. So you need to be able to communicate to me professionally how I can better help you with the needs that you have. So it may not sound like a big deal, but it is. So we're going to look at a couple things that we can do to make sure that our emails and our contact with our teachers are professional and kind and respectful. So the first thing we would like to do is we would like to greet our contact person properly. So including a greeting may seem like a small thing, but we want to make sure that we know we're talking to the right person. So we want to say, "Dear Mr. Thorne." If you're talking to me, you may say Mr. Thorne. You don't want to use my first name because that would be disrespectful. I haven't introduced you as Jason. It's not how we would write an email. It's certainly not how we would talk in class. We're going to say Mr., Mrs. if the person you're writing an email to is a doctor. We would use their title. So we'll use Dr., Mr., Mrs. For me, we're going to use Dear Mr. Thorne. You could leave off the dear if you wanted and just write Mr. Thorne. You want to introduce yourself. It's so tempting just to go straight on into an email and say, whatever. But remind the person you're writing who it is that's speaking. Oftentimes, you may still be logged in as somebody else that uses the same computer, so you want to make sure that you've got the right, the person you're speaking to has the right idea of who's talking. So take a brief moment to remind that person who it is that's talking so that we, the person receiving the email, can better understand and respond. We want to make sure that we're polite. We would like to say please and thanks as necessary throughout the email. Instead of making demands, we want to be thoughtful and polite. If you're upset while you're writing this email, you might want to write it and then just wait to send it, and then come back and try again. It's really an adult skill to know not to write an angry email and send it. Sometimes we just need a little cooling off moment. So to refresh, we want to be polite. We want to say please, thank you, be thoughtful. Don't make demands. We want to keep it open-ended so the flow of conversation happens. We would like to be brief, positive, and friendly. We catch more bees with honey than we do with, say, broccoli. So anyone that you email could be very busy, and we want to keep it very short and sweet for that person. So get to the nitty-gritty of your point after you've introduced yourself and shared and reminded us who you are. Make sure that you're polite and you have a friendly tone. Give options if necessary to show us that you're willing to work with, like, say you miss a deadline. Well, Mr. Thorne, I would, this is so-and-so from your class, and I missed this deadline, but I would really like the opportunity to X, Y, and Z, and hopefully we can come to a resolution to make this thing happen. More receptive than, Mr. Thorne, I'm late, I need a do-over. Be positive, friendly. You want to proofread your email before sending. Look over the email for any grammar or spelling mistakes before you click send. You want to make sure that you're using complete sentences, that you are using the right verbiage. You want to read it out loud. You could take your email and select all and take it to Google Speak, and they will read it for you. And they will be able to tell you if it sounds right. Just have it play it back so you can see. Sometimes with grammar or spelling mistakes, it becomes very distracting for the reader, and I'm not really sure what you're asking for. So you want to make sure that you proofread it. We're going to practice writing a professional email before we actually get into having any issues or whatever, so that you can, when you need to, reach out to me or any other teacher and have your needs met.